Hello and welcome to Meet Our Makers, an artist interview podcast produced in association with Beats Per Minute. I'm your quite sick host, Jeremy J. Facette. I am battling a cold, so forgive me for my voice, but I needed to record this intro so I could put out this lovely episode. Because in this episode, we get to meet Jolie Laide, which is the brand new band fronted by singer-songwriter Nina Nastasia and guitarist, multi-instrumentalist Jeff MacLeod. In this chat, Nina and Jeff and I share quite a good conversation about how this record came to even be. How did they meet? How did they decide to join forces? And how did they decide which direction to take with this record, which is a sort of perfect distillation, a blending of both of their respective styles and also sort of pushing them into new territory. We talk about some of the themes going into it, some of the musical motifs going into it, the sort of desert landscape they crafted for themselves. We also talk a little bit about Nina's last solo record, Riderless Horse, which was one of my favorite records of last year, and was her first solo album in about 12 years. We talk about the surprising ease with which they got moving as a band and how happy Nina is to even be in a band after so many years as a solo artist. We talk about the ups and downs of banddom, magical guitars, and much, much more. I was very pleased that they agreed to come on, and I hope you enjoy. So thank you for listening. This is me meeting Jolie Laide.
Signal me.
All right, well.
You're like, well, that's all the time we have.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta go, I guess. No. All right, we figured it out. Cool. And no one will need to hear us scrambling. They're just gonna hear us start, and we're gonna sound professional. We're gonna sound like we knew exactly what we were doing.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, hello, Nina. Hello, Jeff.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah, it's pretty good. I think I'm okay. Yeah, pretty good.
Good. I'm
How
glad
about
you
you?
guys. I'm all right. Thank you for asking. I just rolled in from work. So
Me
I'm
too,
like,
man.
yeah. So I just 20 minutes ago came in and sat down.
What do you do?
I am a high school English teacher.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh
A
wow. You
fellow.
have like you. So basically, we should be interviewing you. It's gonna
Yeah.
be really super interesting.
Maybe we'll circle back to that later. Yeah, so that's why the timing wise, this is when I can do them because I'm home now. Teachers, luckily as a teacher, I get out at a relatively early time versus regular, 9 to 5 type jobs. But that being said, almost half, I'd say, or more of the interviewees that I invite, they're like, can we do 10 o'clock in the morning? And I'm just, I can't. I can't
Right.
do it. So that sucks sometimes. But I'm glad you guys came out and are hanging out for a while, and I appreciate you. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank
No
you.
problem.
So we should say early on, the main reason for our doing this is that you guys have a joint record coming out very, very soon, actually, because today is Tuesday the 14th. It's coming out on Friday the 17th on Oscar Street Records, your self-titled Jolie Laide record. Am I saying that correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I did some studying. I tried to figure that out. Yeah, so Jolie Laide, the self-titled record from U2 is coming out. Before we get into deeper stuff, where did that name come from anyway?
Well,
Nina came up with that.
so
Well, I don't think she came up with it, but it was her idea.
Well, it's always an expression that I've kind of liked because it's just, it's that. So it's a French expression for, if I have it correct, I think I have it correct, is that basically ugly pretty. It's or pretty ugly, one of those. It's a beauty that has an ugliness to it. And you can look up Jolie Laide women and so many of them, it's hard to find the ugly in it, but anyway, I guess it's like an unusual beauty that in some angles maybe comes off even ugly. So I love that idea of like, you know, because the whole kind of point of at least like for writing for me is to just make some really ugly subject matter pretty. It's almost like a puzzle of trying to do, you know, make something show the beauty in whatever ugliness is there, because there's always something if you find it.
I'll have to play my students you saying that, because I have a course that I teach that's all about that and about finding,
Really?
and like finding beauty in the unbeautiful and finding beauty in unlikely places and things
Yeah.
like that. It's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a survival mechanism. You know what I mean? Like you can go through the worst of times and try to piece together something, find something in it that it's either something you can learn from, something you can that comes out of it that can be quite beautiful. I don't know. It seems like an important lesson. That's cool you're teaching it.
So you two have known each other for quite some time. When and roughly when and how did you two kind of enter each other's orbits?
2000. Yeah, it would be like 2005 or something. We crossed paths in Albini studio. Nina was next up to record. I was in a band called the Cape May. And we were just finishing, and the day we finished, I actually went to a poker tournament with Steve and came back to find Nina and Kenan pretty into the drinking with Clinton Flegel. It was probably like 1 a.m. or something. And we stayed up till, man, I swear the sun was coming up, maybe even, I don't know. Nina didn't know at the time, but we were huge fans. The Blackened Air was probably why we actually recorded with Steve, because we were sort of a delicate band, and we had listened to the Blackened Air and been like, wait a minute, Steve Albini did this? Because, you know, I at the time thought Steve Albini, Jesus Lizard, that kind of stuff. So, and then we found out you could just record with him. Like we were, you know, 3 kids from Canada in our early 20s, and we were like, wait, you could just record with this guy? Like, you know, you would assume like you'd have to know like a Rick Rubin type thing where it's like, oh no, you have to be on this huge label and all this money. So yeah, and we got a grant to do it, and we met Nina in the studio, and we just got along really well. I mean, Kenan was really easy to get along with. He's hilarious. Yeah, and we just fell in love with these two, and then I don't really know how it happened. I heard that more or less once you guys were looking for a band, was it your idea to bring us as the band, or was it Steve's?
We asked Steve. We were like, I think we asked Steve if he knew anyone that would be kind of willing to do that, to just like sort of be my band and then also do support stuff and go on tour and all that stuff in Europe and the States. And he suggested you guys, which
man,
poor things.
Well, what about we like ruined Kenan's and yours minds on that? Here's the thing, Nina's used to
New York for other reasons, but
no, you guys were like,
did ruin Kenan's mind.
Her band was always like, you know, pros like Jim White, Jay Belrose, whoever, and all of a sudden these 3 20-year-old Canadian, more or less drunks, I guess, were you know, half a year of touring with us. It's actually amazing we were so tight through all that, and still, I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs, but
there was some the best. It was pretty funny. I mean, we had some funny experiences. I can't imagine better bandmates to be booked into a cult with, but we were booked into a cult, like an actual cult. And we actually I think we were all pretty romantic. So we created this scene about how we had to escape the cult, but we actually worked it like we were escaping and like didn't even play the show, but we had to get out of the compound, and it was a very dramatic thing.
That will make a really
Yeah.
interesting chapter of the book someday.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was a very strange experience, and we ended up just flying out of there in the middle of the night and ending up in some in a campground with, was it like a hornet's nest that was by, like they had one
No,
spot, either a snake
there was
pit or
one
hornet's
spot near the rattlesnakes. Yeah, they said
Right.
just don't go
Ah.
down
Like,
to the
yeah, we'll
right.
take
There's a
it.
rattlesnake. Yeah,
We'll take it.
rattlesnake pit.
Wow.
Anyways,
But like those kinds of experiences will imprint on the relationship, and I feel like that is probably why you're still close, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
we all just became really good friends,
Yeah.
sort of right away, and then yeah, I mean, and then anybody that could kind of manage through the kind of tours Ken would put on, that more power to them. Like they survived it, then we'll become out friends, I guess. If we can survive that. Yeah.
I like that Steve Albini has a big place in your origin story as friends, because I know Nina, he did, I think, all of your solo albums. He had a hand in all of your solo albums. Going back even to Dogs, I know he has been, quoted as saying Dogs is like one of the favorite projects he's worked on. How did you meet Steve in the first place?
Well, so I mean, Kenan did my partner at the time did the thing, we discovered what Jeff discovered, where he I think I had made some little demo tape. Like that was probably the only time I made a demo tape now ever. But and it was like a cassette, and we sent it to Kenan sent it to Steve. And, of course he was like, yep, yeah, I'll do it. Like there was I think we thought the same thing, like, ooh, we gotta see if but that's the great thing about him. He'll record you. He just makes it possible to get a beautiful recording. So, it was like, it was a very big decision, because we didn't have, even though it was quite affordable to do it, for the caliber that he records you in, we ended up doing like a little fundraiser and raised money, and then went out and went out to Chicago and recorded it. And then it just, I'm really grateful that that's the way recording live and all at once is what I've now used to, because I think it's such a great way to record. I really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Come out of it. I think, I don't think one's better than the other, but for me, it just, you can, things happen when everybody's playing together that, that can be quite special, and even a mistake can end up being the right thing. And,
Yeah. And I mean, there really are few people. I mean, Jeff basically spoke to this before, but there really are seemingly few people who can make a recording of people playing music that really does drop you into the room like Steve does. I mean, your records with him sound like you are just sitting surrounded by all these people, and that's really hard to do. So,
I mean, he is like, yeah, I mean, he's pretty genius at that.
Yeah.
Knowing how to actually, put together a room of mics and where people go, and just
Yeah.
Okay.
So you two have known each other for almost 20 years now then.
Wow.
Why to put it into perspective, why how then is now the time that you are collaborating on a single album together?
Well, I bet Jeff, I'm so happy he's here, because I don't remember a lot of things, and especially during the time that we decided to work on stuff, it was an incredibly stressful time. So I'm not going to remember the real details of it, but I'll start it. So Kenan, this my partner of, I think it was like 26 or 7 years, I think, he committed suicide, and that, you know, that relationship was quite troubling, difficult, and a lot of people weren't even very aware of the you know, the extent of it, but he was like a very loved individual, and he was very special in a lot of ways, and so when he died, Jeff was one of the people that you came out to New York, right? You came out.
Yeah.
You came out.
I was coming out anyways to finish the Norm script, I guess.
Right, with
Kenan?
With Kenan?
That was our plan. Yeah, and I knew something was weird because like I was coming out there, and 3 weeks before I was texting him going, "Hey, I get here on this day, you know, and he wasn't responding, and I was like, "What is going on?" So that was just me coming out, you know, a week after it happened anyways, and then, you know, seeing you and hanging out with you, and yeah, that was, I mean, I guess that was the catalyst, was just we were grieving. I mean, Kenan was actually one of my best friends too, and I didn't really, that the abuse, I guess, was hidden so well. All I ever saw of Kenan was just this amazingly intelligent, boisterous comedian, really, you know, and his relationship with me was pretty much just purely comedic. We for a decade at least, we were texting like teenagers jokes, you know. And I know that when he passed, Nina and I were talking quite a bit, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but I feel like you might have said something like, you know, do you have any music or something? Give me something. I need something to do. I
couldn't remember how it started, but that makes a lot of sense, because I mean, it wouldn't have, I mean, the collaborations wouldn't, I think most collaborations wouldn't have happened with Kenan being alive, because he was very controlling in that way, the music, and that's one of those, you know, one of those things about looking at a horrible event and trying to find something that comes out of it that's somewhat, I don't know, like the word positive, but, you know, positive, I guess. And so, yeah, I mean, I had a real freedom after that. So, yeah, I can't remember actually, but I do remember saying to you, because I thought it was after you'd sent me stuff, but I do remember saying to you, yeah, send me. I'm trying to basically stay busy, because it was sitting in stillness was not good for me. And also, right, like maybe 2 weeks after he died, COVID hit New York super hard. So that was like the lockdown happened too. So it was it was a really weird time.
Yeah. And so,
and
Jeff,
I was
just gonna say, so did you already have some of this music like ready?
Well, I was playing it's a bit of a weird story here, but I got my grandpa's guitar in his will. It's like an early 50s Les Paul Jr., and I would never touch it for like 10 years because I was, you know, it's like a mystical a piece of equipment to me or something. He was like my hero, this POW, and the nicest guy ever. And I just was like, well, he wouldn't want me to not play this thing. And I picked it up, and it had this like woody old tone. And it was like, I just sort of like, it like disabused me of all my prog rock nonsense, you know? And I started writing these little like pop songs, I guess. And so I just had a bunch of different style of music riffs, and I was really enjoying it, playing this guitar. And so that new sort of sound I was experimenting with, that was the whole batch of songs I was sending Nina. And it was fascinating to watch. Like I could put a stopwatch on, send Nina a song, 30 minutes later, she'd send it back. It'd be like full lyrics and melodies, and it's the same that's on the record. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I remember I sent you Away Too Soon. That was the first song.
Yeah.
And like 30 minutes later, it came back and it's the same lyrics, same melodies. I'm just like,
Yeah,
wow, that is
one of those
superpower.
really easy collaborations where it's just like, it's almost like you're just talking back and forth, and it's really yeah, it was very, very, very easy. Actually, the whole thing was quite easy.
I think it's because we didn't think we were going to do anything with it. We were just like,
that could be,
you know what I mean? There was no pressure. It was like, oh, we're just doing this as an experiment or an exercise. And then all of a sudden we were like, well, you know, I remember showing it to Clint, our bandmate, and he was like, this is really good, man. And I was like, it is, right? And he was like, you guys should do something with this. And then I think we started actually thinking like, wait, are we a band now? And Nina was like, I want to be in a band.
I know, I'd never been in a band before, ever.
Yeah.
This was the first band I've ever been in.
Well, hopefully it's not the last, or maybe you guys keep chugging along. Maybe you're a band now. I mean, you know,
we're a band now.
You're a band now.
We are. Yeah.
We're almost finishing. We're finishing in like what, the end of this month. We all meet and finish the second record.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So then does that mean that was this record complete before Riderless Horse was released? Has it been that long?
So I can't remember. I think
it was complete before it was released, but I feel like you were writing the songs at the same time.
Okay.
I was writing the songs at the same time. Yes, I definitely was writing the same. And I think, yes, I think because there was so before I went to Chicago, I think, and lived there for maybe a couple of months, and it's Steve and Heather's place. And then I think it was in that time that I recorded the vocals.
Yeah.
And then I went and recorded Riderless Horse.
Got it.
Yeah.
So a lot of this came from Jeff having these foundations that he sent to you, and then you laid lyrics, melodies, and I assume your acoustic guitar over them.
No, I didn't. Well, there's one song that I wrote on the guitar, but that's just that one song, right?
Okay.
Or was it two songs?
No, there's two. Pacific Coast Highway you sent me, and My Darling.
Okay.
Okay. I don't remember writing Pacific Coast Highway on the guitar, but okay. I know how I would play it. But but the other ones, everything else was Jeff would send me just basically send me a song. And then I came up with the other part.
Yeah. And so you said you've never been in a band before, Nina, and so Jeff obviously had been, and so I'm wondering then, what do you like the most about these collaborations? Because you mentioned these kinds of collaborations probably wouldn't have happened before, and the only one we really have is the incredible Jim White record that you put out, You Follow Me, which is so good. But like then that was it for a really long time. So like, what do you get out of kind of putting your main instrument down and taking like a seat and just like writing songs with someone?
Well, it's definitely like I mean, it was super fun as almost like a challenge of like doing a puzzle, like just trying to fit words in a space, Yeah. So that was fun. And it's, I don't think, I'm trying to think back, and I feel bad if my brain is so bad about remembering things, so I'll feel bad if I did do a collaboration before and I forgot it, but I can't think of I mean, I think this was the first time actually writing in that, because a lot of times I would do collaborations where the song would be done, like for the Jim record too, like the song was done and he made this thing out of, it was definitely a collaboration because of what he would do. Come in with the drums were like a whole other voice,
Yeah.
But the song itself was done, and it's a very different thing to kind of give up that control. I kind of like giving up the control because and having this other project, because I think you can learn so much, and it's very easy to get caught in a rhythm of you're doing sort of almost samey chord progressions, for example, or this way it's kind of like it's just like a great way to kind of expand your brain. And also, I can see like my writing was very influenced by that. It was very different than the other stuff, very different than I thought, and so it's just super exciting. I mean, and now the band has, like, basically the thing we started has now expanded into 2 other people. Oh. And it's really interesting because I'm starting to see, with a band, you basically, you don't get the last say necessarily. Like you can get voted out, which is like an entirely different experience for me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But it's actually, I think it's really interesting because, once again, there's a lot of times you can just not, it's good. I think, well, for me, it's good to talk for myself. It's good to not be so precious, really. I'm not really precious about my own stuff too much, but now I can really like sort of sit back and not try to control every little thing, because what comes out in the end is quite magnificent if you let go of that control and let someone else's brain add something to it, because it's going to be like more interesting in the end, I think.
Yeah. And so sonically or I don't know, thematically, or however you want to say it, I've seen for the singles that have come out so far, because previous to the record you guys put out, I think, 3 singles, and a lot of the descriptions about them are very, desert and spaghetti western and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm wondering, musically, I guess mostly from Jeff, and then lyrically and topically from Nina, was that actually, when did that sort of become the tone we were going for, or was that kind of a happy accident?
I mean, that is all Jeff, I think, because Jeff, and it's funny that he came up with something that I recognize as very desert, even West Coast,
right.
And that's where I'm from. So I was kind of like, ooh, I really liked sitting in that world, especially being in a very oppressive East Coast thing that I was in,
Right.
So little escape for me. Anyway, go on, Jeff. I'm talking over you.
I think it was just the magic in my grandpa's guitar. I don't know what was going on. I've never played that style. I could say that, like, I'm kind of a hyper person. I'd never had coffee in my life. And in COVID, my wife was making me these like oat milk lattes. And it was like definitely it's kind of nerdy, but it was like zoning me in. And also, I had never gone deep on the Beatles. And I had a baby in COVID, and we were just listening to the Beatles all the time. And for whatever reason, I was going down and picking up my grandpa's guitar, and these, spaghetti westerny kind of vibes, things were happening. And I think it's a happy accident, to be honest, but yeah, it definitely works with that. I mean, the second record, I'm so excited for people to hear it, but this is a good lead up for the second one. I wouldn't say the second one is as much of it like a desert spaghetti Western thing, Nina. Would you say that?
No, it's not. I mean, this is like such, yeah, it's funny. It's a very different sounding record, but it still makes sense that it's the same, you know.
Coffee stopped
I
working
don't,
and now we're back to like the doomy, like, no.
I don't know. It's I mean it feels evolved is what I'm trying to say. Not like a whole different thing, but it feels like
Yeah, that's what I think too.
two other people came into it, and they were kind of two other people that we wanted on the first one as well, but it ended up not happening for logistic reasons. And so it really felt like the second one felt like, oh, we're all here. And it's funny because it came together kind of really quickly in a it's funny, Jeff and I tried to recreate the same situation of how easy flowing it was, and it wasn't flowing quite so easily.
No.
Like, what the hell happened until we got to this studio. And the studio, we were like, well, we're not going to be able to make a whole record because we don't even have enough material. We're not even, and we ended up like just doing all the like a good bulk of the writing in the studio.
Yeah,
it was like, oh my god, it just felt like, oh wow, this is completely working the same way.
We got a grant too, so we kind of had a deadline, so we went in with sort of a half finished, half baked concept. But I think you and I had way more of a foundation of a record than we thought we did. And then of course Morgan's such a wizard, and Clint brought in a handful of great songs. And I don't know, the chemistry, that was like by far the most fun I've ever had making a record. Like everyone was just clicking.
Yeah.
You too. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, we
there was some weird stuff like, oh, sorry, I'm talking over you.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
We're just going to talk for a while, Jeremy.
That's fine. Hey, that's what this is about. It's about people talking.
How are you doing, Nina? What's going on?
Well, so I'll talk over you now. So there was a weird moment where there was a song, and I had come up with like I came up with part of the song. It was a strange situation where I think Jeff had sent stuff to both Clint and myself to write stuff, and he's a fantastic musician. Anyway, he was going in his own world, writing something to this music. I was going in my own world, writing to something in this music. I had one section, he had another section, not planned. It just happened to be two different sections. And somehow it happened to work together, which was very weird, because we came in like going, I didn't have the whole thing. And he was like, well, I didn't have the whole thing. And then we just did it, and it seemed to work. It was one of those kind of funny situations that way, which I was just like, ooh, is this what it's like to be in a band?
Yeah.
So interesting too, like having you here for the occasion of the self-titled debut, but you've already basically completed almost the second one. So now you have this like vision of where you are now, but to like the regular listener, that's the future.
Right.
And to you, that's now. And so like that must in a way alter your perception of you guys as a band, of this first record, because you know where you've gone next already, which is sort of fun and cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and it doesn't make this first one any less. It's just it's kind of, to me, it feels like a perfect beginning to this thing,
Right.
I really love how that one turned out, and I think it's just continued with an addition of two other voices that are very, very strong voices. So it makes a difference. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Are you still the like singer lyricist for this
No.
new? Okay.
I mean, the new one, I am, but partially, because Clint is now he's that same thing too. So the two
Okay.
of kind of that thing. And I mean, that is just, I mean, it really is like a dream. It's, you know, I mean, I am over the moon with doing this because it's like, it's super fun, and everybody, you know, everybody is coming in with, every single person comes in with something very specific to them. And it just like melds so well together. And everybody is also kind of equally not precious. So it's a, we're not coming in, we just haven't come into a lot of snags with stuff. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
terms
Do
of
you play in bands, Jeremy?
No, I play alone.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna make a point to say that like I've been playing in bands for like 30 years, and it's taken me like this long to find people to be in a band with where someone isn't like willing to quit the band if you're over their part or something. Like
Right.
it's amazing how hard it is to find people to play music with that can't be critiqued, you know, like
Yeah.
it's, you know, for the better of the song. It's like so many people in my experience were like, well, no, you just don't get that part, man, because that's like my soul. And you're just like, okay, man, you know, like,
Yeah.
so that's why I think for Nina to be in her first band with us is like, you know, no one ever gets butthurt about anything. You know, you could say like, and we do like Jeff, that drumming is horrible. Like, go do whatever you did, do the exact opposite. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. And then you do, and they were right, you know?
Yeah.
So that like hive mind, pure collaborative thing is just the most fun, I think. I know what Nina's saying when she says it's just like, you know, she's so enthusiastic about it. It's just refreshing to be in a band like this where you're not like dancing around things, you know. I don't want to hurt your ego. And
Right.
yeah, it's just
yeah.
it's great.
And there's a like a very like a wise old friend that's now dead, who was a musician, said to me once, like I was getting all upset about something, and he was just like, you know, it's just music. It's just music.
Right.
Which is, it's just true. It's just like, I mean, there's no real, like, there is no right or wrong, really. It's just like, you know, they're just a bunch of choices. And yeah. So and you know, there's been, I mean, there's been times where I would listen to something, go, oh, I do not like that. I do not like that. I do not like that. And then I'll, you know, I'll be kind of voted out, and then I'll like, longer I listen to it, the more I kind of haven't, like, I kind of understand it a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes like, sometimes it becomes like, oh yeah, I mean, I think I actually like that part now. I get it. Like, I didn't get it before because it was not in my kind of vocabulary of what I'm doing personally, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the beauty of collaborating, I think, is that you just really can expand your brain into, and, you know, sort of, yeah.
It's funny, Jeff. I'm assuming you asked me that because you see the guitar hanging behind me.
Yeah.
It's funny that you asked that because, like, I've been, you know, writing my own songs for years, since probably high school, and I used to have that sort of like romantic fantasy of like having a band. But then somewhere along the line, I was like, I record alone in this room that I'm in right now, and it's like I think Nina understands where I'm coming from. I get to decide everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not that I would never want to be in a band, but you're so right that I think there is a romantic version of the band that people who aren't in one see. And it must be so hard to get to a band that is diplomatic and respectful of each other's creativity and input and critiques and all that stuff. And like, that's what I would be so scared of if I was trying to form a band. I like that I get to call my own shots. And I mean, I'm not professional. I do this, I make music and I put it up online, and like 5 people hear it, and I just do it because I like it. But if I was like doing this for my career, I'd be terrified to do that, to join forces with people, because it's hard.
It,
Well, you
yeah.
just have to stick with people that you are like, you like and are like sort of equally passionate about music with, which is hard
Right.
to find, you know?
Right.
I've always I know with Clinton and we've always sort of found people that were in it for reasons with like, I guess, unequal enthusiasm. You know, we were definitely the two most keen people until we met Flegel. But yeah, it's hard to navigate for sure. I think there is a lot of value in it. For me, the rewarding parts have been like traveling with my friends and stuff. You know, like Clinton, his name's Clinton St. John, but we've been best friends since like 96 or something. And I remember Nina took us to Serbia. And, you know, we're just two dorks from Calgary. And we're walking around, you know, in Belgrade or whatever and going like, how is this, you know, like those are the kind of experiences that like music has given me that, you know, I wouldn't have without music. I would just be working somewhere.
Yeah.
And so like it is really rewarding. I think it is rewarding to write and play, and it just as to sort of be a part of your life if you love music and are as passionate about it as I've always been. Even just to record your own songs and put them out, like you say, 5 people listening, that's great. But yeah, it's the band thing is it's been ups and downs, struggles. You know, I agree. It's not as romantic of a prospect, especially now that music is just free, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's no one I know I even have friends that are fairly popular bands and they're still more or less paying to play. And you're just like, oh man,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I mean,
So you do it because you love it, I guess. And that's it. Really.
And at the same time, I mean, as someone who makes all my stuff alone, and there are plenty of people who are successful and do professionally who do everything alone, it can feel like you are in a vacuum and there's no one to give you that bounce back and there's no one to give you critique. And so yeah, there's absolutely value in that, because eventually I saw something online the other day. I forget if it was Instagram or Twitter or X or whatever. But it was like, oh, I've been driving around for days listening to my song 100 times over. Is this mixing? And I was like, that's exactly how it feels, because there's no one else to listen to anything. So I feel like,
that's funny.
You know what I mean? So like there is definitely value in having the right people in the group with you. And it sounds like you guys found that.
Yeah, I think so far.
Yeah,
we definitely did.
Yeah, good. It's pretty fun.
So
solo, I mean, doing it, also creating something on your own is great too. I mean, it's not like
I know.
Mhm.
I know I sound like I'm getting all down on myself. I'm not, I promise. So lyrically, so we have this sort of desert landscape that was kind of crafted and conjured by the music. And then Nina, your lyrics sort of feel like these little character studies almost, or like scene snapshots from this time or this space. And so coming after an album, well, you know, release wise, coming after an album like Riderless Horse that was so exactly about you, was that refreshing for you to write songs about other people, basically?
I think so. I think it was like the music that was coming to me from Jeff was so it had like a real cinematic kind of feel to it.
For sure.
And so it immediately kind of put me in a movie, and then it was just incredibly refreshing to like be able to because the Riderless Horse thing was not particularly fun. Any of it was not particularly fun. It was like it was something it felt like I had to do, was driven to do, and this was more, this kind of was like, oh, I can do music for it's fun, you know. There's the fun aspect of music, and of course doing music has always been, I mean, the actual creating has always been a sheer joy, but the actual pursuing music was so miserable at some point with my partner that I stopped,
Right.
So there was like a kind of, so it was interesting that both were happening simultaneously. I think it seems quite healthy looking back on it, like,
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
yeah.
And I know this past year and change, you've done some touring for the first time in quite a while. I did catch your album release show at Union Pool last year, which was really lovely.
Great.
Yeah, I'm in Connecticut, so sometimes when the right person
Okay.
swings through New York, I'll be like, all right, I'll go to New York. But yeah, so I did catch that where you played the whole album in full. I don't feel like you've done that since then, but the Riderless Horse.
Yeah, I haven't done it ever.
But the Riderless Horse songs do come up in the set lists and mixed in with the older songs. And I'm just wondering, sort of like now about a year on of touring and getting back on the stage, is it tricky for you to play those songs, or have you sort of gotten to a certain place with them?
No, it's not at all tricky. It was, I mean, it's funny, there's a song that I don't play, and I just haven't played it, and it's the song that it's Ask Me, and I played it at that show, and I kind of knew, I'm not going to play this song after that. That's it. I mean, because it and it kind of, for me, it really represents that entire record. It just seems like that's the song for the whole record, and it was just a bummer. Like, I just didn't want to revisit it. But it's not. That record was incredibly difficult emotionally to master, and I've never had it where, I can compartmentalize very well. So I've never had a situation where I like can't do a song because I'm going to cry, like that kind of. But with this record, I actually, for the mastering part, I had to not do it. I had to not listen to it and just say I've just had the experts listen to it and say, yeah, it's fine. But I just didn't want to.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. It was really hard, which I was surprised by, actually. But it's fine to play them now. Yeah.
Yeah. And were there any older songs of yours that were particularly difficult to relearn after so many years away?
All of them are. I mean, there's like, I'm like I'm the laziest person when it comes to practicing. Hate it. It's like, what was for solo, it's awful because you're not even around other people. You're just by yourself, and it's terrible. So it takes, and my memory's not all that good, so it takes me forever to learn stuff. So I try to and some of the tuning is weird, and some of the fingering is weird, and I haven't, I'm not great on the guitar, so I have to really work at that kind of stuff. And so I make myself do songs that I haven't done because they're difficult, and just try to learn them, because it's just like, well, they are my songs, I should be able to play them, kind of thing. I think I was
trying to think of who this is reminding me of. I was talking to Lizzie from Land of Talk, and they were talking about that same thing. Like, I don't write anything down. I don't write tabs. I don't write chords. I barely write my lyrics. And it's really hard. It's really hard to relearn that stuff.
Oh, it's like, where is my finger on this? And it's not like it's on a piano where it's like you go up and you go down and you can hear the difference. You can kind of pick out what the note is. Guitars are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. You know, the same, you could do it 10 different ways and it sounds the same. So it's really hard to figure out.
And I know there were some sort of unreleased songs from some of the recent sets. Are those Jolie Laide songs, or are those like new Nina songs?
Well, I did do a Jolie Laide one I wrote for the band, that murder ballad one, Jeff, I've been playing.
Oh, nice.
But the other the other ones are for this new record I'm gonna do. So I've been kind of like working on, I've been I found it's like I never really did this before. I never played songs out for long periods of time before recording them, and it's actually a nice thing to do because you can find different ways of singing it and stuff. And so I have a lot that I'm hopefully gonna record this winter for the next thing, for my own thing.
That's very good news for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine there was a little bit of maybe trepidation going into sort of a return after so many years, but it seems like
it was scary, terrified.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't speak from your perspective, but as a from a fan's perspective and someone who's chronically like looking at this stuff, it does seem like it was well received, and it feels like it was well received, and we are very, very happy that you're back.
Oh, thank you so much.
So this new record is coming out soon. You have a second one that'll be on the way soon. Is there any intention to tour, Jolie Laide?
I mean, yes, we have to tour. I just don't. I think we have to figure it out somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tricky. It's like starting. It's like I don't know. We have to figure it out. We have to figure it out.
We'll just get Maguire Wilco to bring us on tour.
Yeah,
like they did with Nina. No, we want to do it for sure. It's just logistics and everyone's lives and how to do it.
Right.
We'll get there.
Yeah, because it'd be cool to see this very sort of specific sense of place that you guys have on this record sort of be transferred to the stage. That'd be neat.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. So it's a little tricky that we're not in the same place, but that's not that's also not an excuse. We can figure it out. I'm dramatic, but we'll figure it out somehow.
Yeah. All right. Well, the self-titled Jolie Laide record is coming out on November 17th, and apparently we can keep our eyes peeled for a second one in the not too distant future. So that's exciting on its own, but I hope people check out this debut album. It's less than a half hour, people. It's like a little journey. Just go take it. So thank you guys so much for swinging by and chatting about this record.
Yeah, no problem.
I was very excited to hang out with you guys for a little bit. I had one more question on my notes. How is Misha doing? I saw. Yeah.
Yeah. See, where is he?
Oh my gosh.
He's sleeping right now. Now he's licking his butt. Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
I know.
Really
Misha's a star.
He needs a little behavioral training right now, so I got to figure that out because he's a bit of a barker, so I've got to figure out.
My dog, when we first got her, we lived in an apartment and she didn't bark at anything, and now we live in a house in like a regular neighborhood and she barks at everything.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know.
I just spoke to someone that said, they were like, because he also kind of goes on the attack a little bit for certain people. I don't know. So I was talking to someone and he was like, yeah, we have a dog, does the same thing. And then, so what did you do? He's like, yeah, we just don't socialize anymore. So my wife don't socialize anymore.
Oh, that's not the answer.
It's gotta be. So I gotta figure out.
Well, I'm sure he'll be okay. He's a star.
Yes, he's cutie.
All right, Jeff, Nina, thank you very much for talking to me.
Jeremy.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.